Hello, viewers. Welcome to this episode of Startup Dialogue. My name is Madina Tuadejoladin. Startup Dialogue is an initiative by Enterprise Bureau with the intent of providing informed data to startups and entrepreneurs within Africa. Today's guest is Kwabenya Nyamieke Dapa, and we will be discussing how to develop a social media strategy for your business. Good afternoon and welcome to Startup Dialogue, Mr. Dapper. Can you
Hi,
kindly
Binatu. Good
tell,
afternoon, and thank you for having me.
yeah, so can you kindly tell our viewers who Kwabena Dapper is, please?
Okay, so basically, I am a marketing practitioner. I work with the HR Certification Center as the head of marketing. I have been doing this for the past 6 years, and more of my experience or my expertise is in social media marketing. I've also had experience in hospitality. I worked at Fiesta Royal Hotel, then to number one Oxford Street Hotel and Suites. So at Fiesta, I was a marketing assistant. At number one, I was a sales and marketing executive. And then I came to the HR Certification Center where I'm currently heading the marketing department. Yeah, I think that should be a brief introduction of who I am.
Okay, so that tells us you have a lot of experience in marketing.
I'll say, yeah, appreciably some good experience in marketing. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Dapper, today we are here to discuss developing a social media strategy for your business. I mean, many, if not all, our viewers, I'm sure, are familiar with the meaning of social media, and that it's something that has come to stay. So, now the question is what is a social media strategy, and how can one develop a social media strategy that is sustainable for their businesses?
Okay, so to answer this, I have a presentation. So if you could put my presentation up and I'll go
Okay.
through this, I'm sure to be able to explain exactly what social media strategy is. Yep. Right. So I'll go straight into the presentation. So as Riley said, my name is Kwabena Nyamechedapa and I am a marketing practitioner. Right. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I share um, marketing tips that I say will help you warm up your customers and your prospective customers to your brand. So you can just scan the QR code right there on your screen to follow me on LinkedIn and have access to the resources that I share on marketing from time to time. Right. So, as Madina too rightly said, I'll be sharing on developing a social media strategy, and I'll be talking about how to set smart social media goals, define your target audience, analyze your competitors, do some social media auditing if you are already on social media. And we're going to talk about content pillars, things that will help you to develop relevant content, and of course, how to measure the impact on your bottom line and how to measure what your engagement on social media is bringing to you as a business and as a brand. Okay, so Alan Garnett says marketers have to stop reporting on activities and start reporting on business outcomes. I remember when I started in social media marketing, I was very enthusiastic about what I am doing, but with little attention to the outcomes. And I'm sure that this might not just relate to me, but to other social media marketers as well. Sometimes you get so engulfed in creating content and you forget about the outcome. But you should be, as much as you are interested in creating content, you should also look at the business outcome of what you are doing. So, yes, that is why you need a social media strategy. The social media strategy answers this question: why are we engaging or why are we on social media? That is what social media strategy seeks to answer. And I'm sure you'll be asking, what about a social media content calendar or content strategy. So content strategy basically talks about how to put the why out. So strategy talks about why, and content strategy also looks at how to put the why out. Now, to be able to succeed as a marketer online, you must understand the kind of product or service that you are promoting. And to understand it, you must know your competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is that advantage that the business has that makes them stand out amongst competitors. As simple as that. So I'm going to use the VRIO framework, which talks
Okay.
about value or valuable, rare, imitability, and the organization. Now, when you're talking about value or how valuable is your service, we are asking them what kind of value does your service or product give to the prospective customer or the customer that is able to quash competition. If you have a kind of product or service that is able to give the satisfaction that is able to um, um, diminish competition, then it means you have a competitive advantage on your product that you are offering. Number two, is that product rare? So is it a product that is high in demand yet very difficult to come by? If you have a product like that, then of course you have a competitive advantage. But if you don't, it means you're at competitive parity. And in that case, you need to bring out content that will make you stand out, or you need to bring out things that will make you stand out. Imitability, is it a product that is easily duplicated? Can someone easily come into that space? If it's not a product that is easily duplicated, then you have competitive advantage. But if it is, then you don't, and you have to find something that you can do to make you stand out. The organization, is your organization structured? One thing I've noticed is when the organization is not structured, you are not able to get the best out of the people in that organization. Why do I say this? Because if there are no structure, you do things more or less on impulse, and you don't do things in a planned fashion. So you are not able to get the best out of the people in there. Now, after you have gone through this real framework, you'll now understand whether the product that you have has competitive advantage. Then you know where exactly it has its competitive advantage. Is it in value? Is it in being rare? Is it in its imitability? Or is it in the organization where you are? Then, after you have stated this, look at the demographics, the social media demographics. You have to understand whether the product you have fits a specific social media platform that you are looking at. Now, this report I'm going to give you is from Sprout blog for the year 2022. They said on Instagram, monthly active users are around 2 billion. The largest age is between 25 to 34. The gender is 48.4% female, 51.8% male. And the average time spent on Instagram is 29 minutes. Now, TikTok
Wow.
has been said to be the fastest growing social media platform now. It has a monthly active users to be around 1 billion, and the age is between 10 to 25. That's the highest, the largest age group there. Then the
Wow.
gender is 61% female, 39% male. And this will surprise you or interest you that the average time spent there is 89 minutes. Facebook,
Interesting.
yeah, Facebook has 2.91 active monthly users, largest group 25 to 34, gender female 43%, male 57%, average time spent 33 minutes. LinkedIn has 810 million active users on a monthly basis, largest group 25 to 34, the gender 48 female and 52% male. 63 of LinkedIn users access the network weekly and 22% access it daily. YouTube. YouTube has 2 billion plus people visiting on a monthly basis. The largest group 15 to 35, the gender 46% female, 54% male, and the average time spent there is 30 minutes. Then last but not the least is Twitter. Twitter has 211 million people visiting monthly. Largest group 18 to 29. Gender female 38.4%, male 61.6%. Average time spent is 31 minutes. So after understanding these demographics, it should help you know where you want to put your product.
Your
Now,
product.
it's not important. You should note that you don't necessarily have to be on all social media platforms. It depends on the kind of organizational strength that you have. If you do not have that strength, don't be on all social media platforms because it will be difficult for you to manage. So understanding these demographics, then you decide. Let's say someone who sells maybe ladies bags. From the demographics I've given, you know where the platforms where ladies are the most. TikTok. So you have to be there to sell your ladies bag. If you
Okay.
are a professional institution offering professional services, you want to be on LinkedIn because that's where the
LinkedIn, yeah.
professionals are. So that is just to introduce us to um, social media strategy. Right. Now, setting smart social media goals. We all know this. SMART stands for specific, that the goals have to be clear, measurable. You have to be able to measure the goals, achievable. Don't go over the bar, be within a limit or a limit that you know you can achieve. And not only that, don't just be in the limit you can achieve, but also sometimes you have to um, my boss says something. Say if it's not big enough to scare you, then it's not big. You get it. So
Yep.
yes, you must be. It must scare you, but it should be within a certain remit. Then it has to be relevant. The goals you are setting have to be relevant to the industry or the business in which you are operating, and timely. It should be within a certain time frame, which will help you to measure. Now, you see, social media marketing doesn't work in a silo. It works together in a team. It has to be from offline to online, offline to online. O2, O2. You
Okay.
just don't want to do things online alone. The offline activities and the online activities should complement each other for you to be able to get that kind of um, feedback or that kind of for you to be able to meet your
Get the
aims.
engagement you desire.
Exactly. For you to be able to hit the bottom line, to affect the bottom line of business, offline and online have to work in tandem. So, what are your um, overarching marketing goals of the business? Now, social media basically does these four things: creates awareness, um, promotes engagement, helps in conversions, and also helps to know your sentiments from the customers. Awareness, we know people to hear about you. Engagement, likes, shares, comments, conversions. When you post something online, what do you want the person seeing it, or the internet user, or the social media person? What do you want them to do at the end of the day? Do you want them to click a link? Do you want them to sign up for your newsletter? Do you want them to make a purchase? When someone online sees this and they act on it, that is what we call conventions.
Okay.
And customer sentiment, what are people saying about what you put out there? You want to know that.
The
Now,
perception of the public.
the perception of the public, exactly. Now, to look at where the business is and to determine what goals to be set, I want to use the Ansoff metrics of growth. So this looks at the service and the market. So when you look at the presentation I have here, you can see market penetration, product development, market development, and diversification. Now, each quadrant um, stands for something. Now, when you have an existing market and an existing product, that means the product is already in the market, is there, people know about it. On social media, what do you want to do? You basically want to engage your customers. You want to maintain that customer retention So these are the things you should be looking at. You should be looking at engagement, and you should also be looking at what people think about the product, customer sentiment. Okay, so it helps you to stay in business. And of course, you should always keep the product going. So you have to look at awareness as well. Now, these things should be done because what people do not understand, they are not motivated to act on. When people do not understand the consequences of inaction or the consequences of their action, they are not motivated to act. Therefore, people should know why they are doing what they are doing on social media. Basically, that is the importance of a social media strategy. So, yes, if it's an existing product, existing market, you just want to penetrate the market. So, you are looking at awareness, engagement. That's the most important thing. Engagement, keeping the customers alive, keeping them connected. Now, if it's a new service or product in an existing market, you want to develop that product. So, what do you want to do? You're also looking at engagement, but this engagement, you are looking at introducing the product to the people, letting the people know how to use the product, what are the benefits of the product, where can they get the product. So, that kind of engagement is what you want to do. And conversions, you want to put them on a mailing list, you want to put them on a WhatsApp group, you want to put them on a Telegram group so that you can interact with them and then they know how to use this product. If the product is existing in a new market, you want to develop the market. So you want to increase awareness. So you have to be driving more on followership. You want to be driving more on letting people know more about the product. So you have to be doing some offline activities as well. As much as you're doing online activities, you want to engage um, um, maybe affiliate marketers, you want to engage influencers. That's what I wanted to say. You want to
Mm.
engage influencers to increase your awareness online. Now, if it's a new product in a new market, people don't know much about it. So you have to be strong on all these things. You want to be using the influencers. You want to be telling the people about the product that you have or the service that you have, increasing engagement. You want to be putting them on a mailing list. You want to be putting them on a WhatsApp group and a Telegram group so that you have that constant interaction with them. And you also want to know what they think about the product. So these are the things that should be driving your smart social media goals. So, for example, if you are looking at growing your following, you know the reason why you want to grow their following. And if you have to state it, you can just say grow following by 5% each month on all social media platforms. So all social media platform, meaning the social media platforms you are on. So if you have to state them, maybe Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Okay, you have to be that specific. Maybe if it's engagement, you want to increase engagement by 10% each month on all social media platforms. Then again, you state the respective social media platforms that you are on. And also to increase conversions, you want to say maybe increase the people that you have on your mailing list. So you say increase mails on the mailing list by 10 each week and increase the opening rate by 15%. There are apps that will help you do this. You can look at MailChimp, it gives you the opening rates, it helps you to send automated messages, put together your mailing list and all those things. And you must also be willing to invest some money into these things to be able to get that outcome that you expect. Now, target audience, you must know the people who you are selling to. Now, when we talk about a customer persona is a fictitious character that represents the your typical client or the person that you want to reach out to. So you can say, let's call our client Madina 2. What does Madina 2 do? Let's say Madina 2 is a student. Maybe so we are looking at a company that sells bags. Okay, I'm concentrating more on small businesses. A company that sells ladies' bags. So it looks at Madina 2. Madina 2, let's say she's a student, country of origin. Let's say she's from Sierra Leone,
Yeah.
and where is she currently? She's in Ghana. What's her age? You can just put her age there, maybe 26, maybe no, she's in university, so she should be between, let's say, 16 to let's say 20. So let's say 16. You want to be very specific. She's a female. What's her marital status? Let's say she's single. Yeah, she's in school. So let's say she's single. What's her behavior? So Madina too is someone who's a student, so she'll probably be carrying her laptop to the class. So that she needs a very strong bag. Madina too is a student. Probably she'll have to pack a lot of things in her bag to take to her college or to take to her department because she'll be spending a lot of time there. What other behavior? Maybe Madina too will have to pack some food to go to her department when she's going. So you know her behavior, the time that she spends out, the time that she spends in her room. You have to understand all these things about her. Then what's her salary?
Some beauty stuff as well.
Say again.
Some beauty stuff as well.
Beauty stuff as well, right? What's her salary? She's probably taking stipend from her parents, so you can see that maybe in a month she's getting something between maybe 500 to 1,000. Then what are her goals and aspirations? Complete university with a good class, get a job to do. Um, Probably she wants to get married, or probably she's not interested. So you see, you want to be very specific. So let's say she wants to get married after school, she wants to get a good job, maybe she wants to travel out, maybe she wants to stay in Ghana. So based on the individual, you state all these things as her goals and aspirations. What are her pain points? What are the things that will offend her? So you want to keep this to you're a bag company. So when it comes to bags, what are the things that you think will offend her? Maybe the handle of the bag just gets torn easily. Maybe the leather being exposed to a little heat now begins to tear off. Maybe instead of Prada, you write Prodo. Is something that will piss her off.
Oh,
She'll not
that's
be interested.
interesting. Prada, Prada instead of Prada. Wow.
Exactly. And you also want to know what are her preferred brands. This will help you know the kind of competition. So maybe you sell bags. You check out other bags company that you think Madina to be exposed to. Then you find out what they are doing. Now, after you have developed this persona called Madina to, you know her pain points, you know her behavior, how can you as a business now satisfy her based on her behavior, based on where she's coming from, based on her age, based on her sex, based on her preferred brand or competitors? Now you can develop something for her. So if Madina 2 is concerned about brands, you make sure that when you are posting on social media, you let the brands that you are posting out show, and you make sure that you are selling original brands. Maybe she will be concerned about the bag tearing off. You show that when the bag is exposed to heat, it doesn't tear off easily. You see,
Yeah, the
so because you
durability
understand
of
who she
the
is,
bag.
exactly, because you understand who she is, you are able to develop something to suit her. So you
To
must,
satisfy our needs. Yes.
yes, so you must have a target audience and develop that customer persona. Now, a business might have more than one customer persona. So you must at least have about three customer persona to do well, to be able to develop content to meet their needs. Now you have to analyze your competitors. Jack Welch says if you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. So more or less, all those who are on the market have some competitive advantage that is making them stand out. So when you come on social media, you have to find it. Things like what are their active networks? Which networks are they on? Twitter, Facebook, which of them are they strong on? Number of followers. How many followers do your competitors have? Strength. Look at their posting. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And this is very important. Content that resonates with you. Check out their content. Which of their content really resonates with you, and which of their content is getting that much attention? Then you can also do something similar. Okay, because you both of you are all more or
Doing the
less
same
looking at
thing.
this.
Yes.
Yes,
So
and you
what
are more
makes you
or less going
stand
to the same
out?
market. Yes, you're all going to the same market. So if they are doing something that works, it's possible that when you do something similar, yours will work as well. So you need to analyze your competitors. Social media audit. If you're already on social media, you have to check the number of posts that you've made. And I'll advise that you make an audit on a quarterly basis. It
Okay.
helps you to take remedial steps quickly to save any situation. Now, audit is basically just checking the progress that you are making on social media and finding out what you can do differently to make it even better. Now, check the number of posts, check the number of followers that you have, check your average engagement rate, check your click-through rate. Now, click-through rates basically looks at normally the content that you post. I mean, the content that you boost, that's paid ads. When you go to the back end, you should be able to see your click-through rate. That's the number of people who have clicked on that particular um,
Post.
ad. I would
Okay.
advise that anytime you are making an ad, make sure there's a call to action. Okay, maybe there's a link to call a
Okay.
number, there's a link to visit a landing page to carry out some actions so that you can get a proper click-through rate to measure whether people are interacting with your paid ads. You also want to check at the mentions. How what's your voice on the market? How many people are speaking about you? What section of the market in your industry do you own? That can be measured by the mentions. Okay. And the reach, when you go to the back end, you can get the reach. Probably asking yourself, how do I know the mentions? How do I know these things? There are third-party apps that you can pay and they'll help you have all these metrics. I can recommend Databox, I can recommend Sprout, I can recommend Hootsuite. You can check them out. Now, after you have analyzed or audited your platforms, you also do a
Kobena,
yeah.
a minute, can I hold you there? Can you give those again, the recommendations? So, I mean,
Okay, I said
yes, can
Sprout,
follow.
yes, Sprout Social,
Okay.
Databox, and Hootsuite.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So when you have those apps, they can help you get these metrics I'm talking about to audit what you already have. Why are you auditing what you already have? To find out what is working and what is not working. When you know what is working, you amplify it. When you know what is not working, you put a stop to it or you review it. And you should also do a SWOT analysis. Look at the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that your brand on social media has. Okay. Now, content pillars. After you have decided on the why, that's the strategy we are developing, and you come to how to post, that's developing the content itself, there are three pillars that you must consider. Is it entertainment and information? You should be able
Okay.
to provide free information that is relevant to your industry. You should also be able to provide shareable, relevant information, right? You shouldn't just be about the selling. Put something out that people will be willing to share, because the more people share, the more your brand is seen by many. Branded promos, sales, this is where you want to do your selling. You should have content for that, discounts and sales and Black Fridays and all those things. You should have content for that. Then you also want to put out your brand, people to connect with you on an emotional level as well. So, what are your values? Sometimes companies have all these nice values, integrity, passion, and all those things, but you don't see it resonate in what they post on social
Yes.
media. You get it? So that's why
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's important for you to have that social media strategy, because it informs why, or it answers the question, why am I doing these things on social media? Okay, so you know how to post. The language that you use, it should depict the value that your company stands for. The programs that you do should depict the value that your company stands for, so people are able to know you and are able to connect with you on an emotional level as well. People make a lot of decisions more on emotional sentiments or more on sentiments than reasoning.
Yes, I think I agree with you on that. It's good for businesses to get their impact story out there, and it
Yeah.
might influence people. Like we do that here at Enterprise Bureau, where we do a session called Startup Tour. You get to
mm,
visit startups and get their background story and help showcase them. That tends to bring a lot of influence and engagement to
mm,
whatever I do. Like you said, emotionally, someone can connect to whatever the story is behind that brand.
mm. Yeah, yeah. That's great. And so these are the three content pillars: entertainment, information. So when you visit the social media platforms of HR Certification Center on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, and Instagram, you realize that we have a very good blend of these. We offer a lot of free information. We have sessions like the HR Roundtable on Twitter Spaces that we give free information to HR practitioners. And we have a lot of shareable content. We have fun. I remember we did something when Messi, I think Argentina played with the Orange team. Is it Netherlands? Yes, when they played with Netherlands, there was a very interesting photo that came up. We were able to create some fun around it, and I actually had a lot of people sharing it. You get it. Now, when it comes to company culture and values, at the HR Certification Center, we are also very concerned about creating community. So I remember some weeks past, we had a lady come in for our last session of our flagship program, which is the Global Professional HR Certifications. And she came with a baby, a very cute baby. And we were willing to assist her. We held the baby for her, make sure the baby was comfortable so that the mother would not be worried. And the woman, she was able to go through the class of about we start on Saturdays. We are at the National Banking College from 9 p.m. to 3 p.m. and she was
Okay.
there very comfortable. She didn't have any problems. And this is the kind of community that we want to put out there. And we made a post on LinkedIn, and we had like about 100 engagements. That's sharing. No, let me be specific.
Yeah.
We had about 100 people liking on LinkedIn, and we had over 20 comments, and we had about I think 10 or so people sharing. People like to connect with these things, you see. And the most important thing is that be truthful, don't lie about it. This is something that we do. And when you see in the comment section, it will tell you that people have witnessed it, people have experienced it. So don't just put things out there because they are nice, but be real. And these are the things that um, your social media content must depict out there. Now, very important, my boss, Dr. Bassey, says something. What you do not measure, you can't manage. And as I said from the beginning, marketers should move from just activities, but should know the outcome of their activities. These are metrics that you should look out for as a marketer when you post on social media. You want to look at your post reach, you want to look at your impressions. Post reach is looking at the people who see your
What you
content.
post, yeah.
Exactly. Impressions is the number of time that your content pops up on people's screens online. The net promoter score. Net promoter score. This is a survey that you can do. It's looking at customer sentiment, or it's looking at. It wants to answer this question: will the people who interact with my business be willing to recommend me? So you can do a survey and ask that question on a scale of 0 to 10.
That's a
Those,
good one.
yes, those who answer from 0 to 6 are detractors. Those who answer from 7 to 8 are passives. Then those who answer from 9 to 10 are promoters. Now you have to deduct the detractors from the passives. No, the detractors from the promoters. And if you have a larger number, it means people are willing to recommend your business.
Okay.
I must say that sometimes it's difficult to get people to answer these surveys, but don't give up. You have to be consistent because you know that you are working with a strategy. You get it. Now, marketing return on investment for paid ads. how much do you put in your paid ads and what is the outcome you get from there? Okay, you when somebody purchases from you, if you have a product, when people purchase from you, you want to find out how did they hear about you, where did they hear about you, and you at the end of the day, when you're able to get these informations, you calculate how much money you spent on the social media platforms and how much money you were able to get from these social media platforms. Then you're able to calculate the return on your investment. Then the click-through rate, I spoke about that already. The conversion rate, you want to see the rate at which people are taking action on your objectives for posting. When you put a link there, how many people are clicking it? When you invite them to join your mailing list, how many of them are clicking it? How many of them are buying? Okay, so that's a click through rate. That's a conversion rate that you want to get uh, on your platforms. So it's important that you understand these metrics and you use them. Now, the metrics are a lot, so you have to choose which metrics are important to you based on your goals. And we know how to develop the overarching goals of the marketing department. That's the product development.
Sure.
Are you diversifying? Are you penetrating the market, or is it for market development? Right. So Eric Palman says we don't have a choice on whether we do social media. The question is how well do we do it? And
Okay.
developing a social media strategy is one of the ways that determines how well you can use social media, and also going to help you to be consistent. Is also going to help you know how your activities are creating an outcome that is affecting the bottom line of your business. So, Madinatu, thank you very much. This is all I have to say for now about social media strategy and social media content. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kwabenya. That was an interesting presentation. Wow. So, I mean, I've learned a couple of things and I plan to implement them.
Super.
So yes, I do. You mentioned value that gives satisfaction to diminish competition. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
You say give value that.
Gives the satisfaction to your customers, your client, that would diminish the competition, your competitor.
Yes, 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 yes. So the thing is, you have to understand your customers first of all by developing the customer persona, and then trying to understand their behavior on your social media platforms. Now, if you have a product that gives a certain kind of value that is difficult to get from other people, maybe a luxurious product that people have already bought in, then you are safe. But if not, and you are selling something that has a competitive parity, that means a lot of it's all over the place. You have to notice the behavior of your customers and do develop content that is tailor made towards their needs. People relate more with things that look like them. Okay, I'm staying on the social media. I'm not going on offline activities. I just want to stay on social media. So you want to create that kind of content that looks like them, content that they can relate to, and over time, they begin to trust you. They begin to get that confidence in you, and you become top on their mind, and they are willing to recommend you because you are answering their needs and
Their
you are
needs.
a brand that cares. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's very important because in most businesses, especially startups, struggle with the competition that
Mm.
probably have already been there or at the same time. So, I mean, it's important for them to identify what works for their customer base so they can be ahead
Mm.
of their competition.
Yeah.
So, and also knowing your demographic before engaging a platform, like you mentioned earlier about TikTok, like
Yeah.
selling bags and stuff. And a lot of people will also mention Instagram that, oh, I prefer Instagram when it comes to beauty stuff like clothing, bags, and ladies' wears and makeup stuff. And but it's interesting you mentioned TikTok as well. So, do you think TikTok is more effective than Instagram when it comes to that area?
It'll be difficult to say whether TikTok is more effective um, than Instagram. It basically borders around how you are able to manipulate these platforms. Okay,
Okay.
TikTok is like a new baby. Everybody is going there because
A
of the
new baby
frenzy.
that is really
Yeah,
doing
it's
some
shaking the market, and you see,
doing a lot.
that, yes, but the report, there's people spend 89 minutes on TikTok.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of eyeballs, you have a lot of people being there. So if you're able to create very interesting content, people will see you more.
Yeah,
But
and
because of
it's addictive too. When you open TikTok, you have to get a certain willpower to get out. You can't
exactly,
just easily get. I mean, you see content after content, and most of them
exactly,
are interesting.
yes, yes. So for a bad person, you can do both LinkedIn and you can do both Instagram and
Instagram.
TikTok. And as you move, you just measure where you are getting most of your sales from. And the beautiful thing is both platforms take almost similar kind of content. So something that you post on TikTok, you can easily post on Instagram. So it doesn't take a lot of your time. You get it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Again, let's look at the online and offline should complement each other.
Yeah.
How can a business owner do that? Because
Okay,
I
so
think
we
this
have
is very important. You just don't focus on the online platform.
yeah.
You need businesses and to focus on online platform and also the offline, so both can complement each other.
Yeah.
So can
Yeah.
you talk more about that?
So you see, people would relate with brands when they see that the brands are active, the brands are doing things. Okay, it's not just about dumping things online and going to bed. Okay, so if you have an objective as creating awareness, in as much as you are on social media, you also have to go to the market. You have to
Yeah.
do product activations. It's not everybody who is on social media. Some people have taken a break from social media because they feel it is addictive, so they are not there. So you have to go offline to get those people. So that is why offline and online must complement each other because the people are widely spread. So when you get those online, you get those offline, then you have the customers wherever they are.
Okay, so we have a question here. How effective is video on social media? The effectiveness of video content on social media.
Okay, so I think video content is effective. A few reports have shown that video content is actually the thing now.
It's
And clearly
catchy.
we can see it's catchy. Clearly we can see how TikTok is rising because of video content. You get it. But you see, in as much as video content is good, you have to be very careful to create quality video content.
Okay.
Don't be sloppy about it because it's popular and you are doing what people are doing. And when you put your video content out there to monitor it, okay, if you do not monitor your video content, you go with the frenzy that video content is working, but it might not work for you. You get it? That's why it's important to monitor what you put out there and see how people are reacting with it. If you don't do
Oh,
that, you just follow the general perceptions and you will not be getting the feedback you expect.
oh, we can see a lot of people just dance on TikTok and they're getting 5K views. But again, I understand where
Yeah,
you're
so,
coming from. It depends
so
on
if you're getting
what you
10k
stand
views,
for.
is it what's your goal?
Yes,
You see, is your
yes,
goal to
your
get
goal.
views
That's
or
the
is your
key
goal to make
word. Yes,
conversion?
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, I mean, you mentioned the customer perception of your product, which I think it's very important. The perception of your
Mm,
customers on your product. What perception are you giving out there?
yeah. So
So, I
so
mean,
the
viewers might want to
perception
know how they can strategize to bring out the best for their customers.
okay. So perception. First of all, if you should understand what is your brand persona or what is your brand personality? What does your brand represent? What are the values of your brand? Okay. Then you start building from there. So you engage yourself in activities, let's say social activities. You want the people to know that you are a brand that cares about them. So you engage in social activities. You want the people to know that you are a brand that knows what you are doing. Maybe you want the people to know that you are an authority. So you put out content that shows that you know what you are doing. Give authoritative direction to issues pertaining to your industry. Okay. It creates that kind of perception about your business. You see, so you have to decide at the drawing board what kind of perception do you want to put there. So if you want to put yourself as an authority, it means you have to do programs to talk about issues and give authoritative directions to these issues. If you want to put yourself there as a brand that cares, you want to be maybe in hard times, you want to probably give a discount for to cushion people's hard times. And you should always remember that all these activities must be considered on how they affect the bottom line of the business. That is the profit, that's the net profit. Okay, you just don't do it because you have to do it, but it has
Yes,
to be,
yeah.
you need to have that business mindset towards it. So that's why I'm concerned about people just looking at the views alone. No,
Yeah.
what is the views transcending into? What
The
are you
impact.
doing with the views that you have? Yeah.
Yes, so we have another question here. This one says, is it advisable to invest in social media influencers for marketing as a startup business?
Yes, I would say that is important. As a startup, probably people don't know you that much, and you want to, the influencer is out there, he is known, you should be able to jump on them to leverage from their following. But the important thing you have to do is do a quick scan of who you want to use as an influencer. Does the person's brand on social media
Align with
correspond with your
your,
brand? Does it
yeah.
align with what you want to do? What kind of people are following? Are those kind of people your target market? Is that influencer socially connected? You know, some of the influencers just post things, but they are not socially connected. People relate more with people who are socially connected. So you have to pay attention to all those things. I was reading a report by Sim, and they were talking about how businesses in the year 2022 lost a lot of money by using fake influencers because people are able to buy following. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
when
It's
your
another
influencer
important
is
point.
socially responsive, he's able to use trending events to create content for you that will get the eyeballs watching. You get it?
Yeah.
So that he doesn't just dump your content on his platform just because of following. Following is important for an influencer, but you must look beyond that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kwabenya. So, another important question I like to ask: what's the difference between social media marketing strategy and the social media content strategy?
All right. So the social media strategy basically looks at why, okay, answers the question why.
Mm-hmm.
Then calendar, the content strategy answers the question how
How?
and when. Okay, so why? Why are we posting a particular thing? Is it for awareness? Is it for engagement? That is what the strategy is answering. The content strategy now answers, when should we put it out there? How many times in a week? How should we put it out there? Should it be a video? Should it be a picture? Should it be a carousel? Those, so basically that's what draws the dichotomy between um, strategy, social media strategy, and content strategy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So let's take this one last question before we round up. So someone is asking, does the number of following a business or an individual really matter in business? And how does it translate to profits?
As I've always been saying, it always depends on your goals. All right. What are the goals? If you want to create awareness, of course, following is important. So you have to work at growing the following. Engagement, you don't need to, if you want to create engagement, means you already have the following. So you want the people to, you want to keep the people glued to you. So it always depends on your objectives. So if your objective is awareness, then following should be important to you. How does it translate to profit? It translates to profit when you're able to engage them.
Okay.
People have a lot of following, but they do not have engagement. So you
Engagement.
can manually measure the engagement rates by dividing the so engagement basically is the number of people who are commenting, sharing, and liking your content. So if you're able to add these three and divide it by the impressions times 100, it should be able to give you the engagement rates on your posts. Okay, so you should be measuring those engagement rates from time to time, and you know whether your followers are being engaged. There are other ways of measuring engagement rate, but they have a little bit of limitations. For instance, some say you get the engagement and divide it by the followers, but you know that it's not only your followers who see the kind of content you put out there. Followers and unfollowers as well see it. So impressions is a better representation of the people who see what you put out there. And there are softwares which do these things and makes it easier. But if you want to go the manual way, means you have to be opening Excel sheets and be tabulating these things and making those calculations from time to time. Yeah.
Okay, so I know I said one last question, but let's get this final question. Someone is asking, how does a company measure their social media marketing success?
I think Jessica joined in late because I mentioned those things with the metrics.
Yes.
So you look at your push reach, look at your impressions, you can do the net promoter score, you have your marketing return on investment. That you get more on the paid ads. You check your click-through rate, you check your conversion rates. And these are some of the metrics that you can use to measure your success. And success can only be measured when there is a target. Without a target, you would not know what you are hitting. So the target should be the smart social media goals. When you have the goals, then you can be able to measure the success of your social media strategy, plan, content. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much. So we are about to round up viewers and yeah, you get it, Mr. Kwabena Dapa, on how to on developing a social media strategy for your business. So, Mr. Kwabena,
Yep.
thank you for engaging us, and please you can show your social media handles again so viewers can follow you. And are you on
Yes.
link? I guess you're on LinkedIn, of course. Yes, I follow you.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube as well, right?
Yes. So they can just scan the QR code on the screen now, and they can join my LinkedIn platform. I share a lot of marketing content there. So just scan the QR code and you have access to everything that I share when it comes to digital marketing and offline marketing as well. I also have a chat room on Telegram. And if you want to join the chat room, we have good discussions about things like this. So you can
Okay.
just, my number is 0543 422 107. Send me a hi on Telegram, and then I can add you to that platform as well. Yeah.
So can you come again with a number?
0543 422 107.
Okay, via so yeah, you get it. You can scan the QR code to follow the LinkedIn links and his other social media handles, and you can follow Mr. Kwabena Dapa. So you can save his number and connect with him on Telegram. The number is 0543422107.
Yeah.
So again, this startup dialogue initiative and enterprise bureau with the intent of providing informed data to startups and entrepreneurs within Africa. Today, our guest is Mr. Kwabena Nyameka Dapa. Thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Kwabena, and I hope our viewers have learned a lot about developing a social media strategy for their business and that they will take those acts and utilize them. So thank you very much, Kwabenya.
Thank you, Madina. To thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be sharing on these topics, and I want to thank your outfit too for giving me the opportunity to interact with your audience online. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So thank you, viewers. Until the next episode of Startup Dialogue, I'm Madina Tuade Bye.
Bye.